Okay, my gender story is of a time when I was young. I had my first friend over. She was white, and she came over for dinner. And after dinner, my mom always had a ritual of taking my dad's shoes off and his socks and rubbing his feet. And my friend was astonished at the fact that my mom was doing all that for my dad. And she asked, like, why did your mom do that? Like, why did she do that? She's degrading herself as a woman, and she's not a slave. Like, why is this happening? And I had told her, and it's just a tradition that we have, or a tradition that she does, something that she does every day, because she cares for him. And she asked, well, like, doesn't he care for her? Like, doesn't he do the same thing for her? And I was like, well, no. And she was like, well, that's kind of unfair. Like, why doesn't he do that? And I told her that it was because my dad, he has a hard job. And my friend asked me, well, doesn't your mom have a job? And I was like, well, yeah, she does. So this kind of encounter kind of opened my eyes to how unfair it was in my home, because my mother, 4 in the morning, would wake us up, get our lunch ready, get my dad's lunch ready, get her own lunch ready, pack us up and take us to the babysitter. She would go to work, where sometimes she'd be late due to traffic or any obstacles that she had going to work. And then she would go after work, pick us up, come home, and she would get the house ready, get the food ready. My mom always had hot tortillas on the table by the time my dad was at home. And so she was a what's it called? A labor worker. So she did manual labor as her job, and my father did as well. And so it was just the work that was put in to our family was very unfair. Like, my dad did none of what she did, and my mom went over and beyond to take care of her family. And I think it's just something that's so common in my culture, that the woman caters to her husband and to her family, and she doesn't get that same catering back to herself from her family and from her husband. So yeah, I mean, that experience kind of opened my eyes to the inequality of, like, my family dynamic. And yeah, that was the first time I had ever heard, like, oh wow, like, this is really unequal, because my whole life I had seen this up till I was in middle school, and I didn't think anything was wrong. I thought that's how I was going to be when I got old. Like, I admired my mom for that, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be just like my mom, I'm going to do this and that. And, like, now I realize how unfair that was and how harsh it was on my mom, and, you know, all the negative things that she's had to deal with health-wise because of all the strain that she put on her body throughout my whole childhood. And yeah, that's my gender story, and I give permission for this video to be posted as a gender story, or for the Gender Stories project. Thank you.
Okay, I give my permission to have this video posted online as part of the Gender Stories project. So, okay. My gender story starts when I was a freshman in Portland Community College, and I was running the Max with my friend. And this was like a male friend who was actually studying political science at the time. And he was actually asking me, oh, so what are you going to study? So I'm like, political science. He's like, oh, I'm doing that too, but it's really hard, and I think it's going to be really hard for a woman to, you know, do good in political science. Maybe you should do something else. So I kind of just laughed at him, because this was a guy who was also taking a math class that I was taking, and I was able to pass it the first term, and it took him four classes to actually pass it, so I didn't think very much of the advice he was giving me. And so now he's dropped out of college, and I'm on my senior year and still pursuing political science, and almost going to graduate next year. That's my gender story.